And I asked you, friend, what is your next thing looking like in that sense? Are you looking for a bit of stability, security, and one place? Or are you looking for a little bit of exploration, a little bit of uncertainty, a little bit of excitement that comes with that, and spreading those roots and learning a little bit more?
Friend, here's something I don't know if you know. While the podcast is a thought of mine for a long time, thinking of me absolutely could not be doing this without our very own Wizard of Oz, Kyle, at Goodnight Podcasting Solutions. Kyle's turnaround time, dedication and level of service means that I never have to second guess or worry about the level of support in getting our messaging out to you. If you're curious as to starting your own podcast or just want to see how it might spread your message, reach out to Kyle at kylegoodnight.com or check our show notes. I mean it when I say that we couldn't be doing this without him.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Laura's Thoughts. This week I'm actually recording from my bedroom at home here in Westmeath, and I have a story to kind of share with that alongside this week's thought. But I first want to say that we are very much gearing up for the summit on Thursday in 2 days' time, and if you haven't already registered, let me just take a second to say that the women who have decided to share, and we're coming on, some of them have been speakers in our season 1 women only podcast episodes when we launched first. Some are speakers who have yet to be released, and some are those who aren't associated with the podcast and actually want to remain quite private but still want to come and share in a platform in a way that helps somebody else create a new thought. So yeah, most of my thoughts and actions are centered around Summit this week, and as I say, it would be a shame to miss our first ever live event like this. And you can register by going to thinkingmecoaching.com/summit, where even if you have to miss a small bit of it, it'll be about 2 hours long, you can get the replay after. And if you have a question that you want to ask any of our speakers, you can upgrade to VIP. You can be in the same recording space as what we use here for recording our podcast and get your question answered in our bonus Q&A session. So that's happening this Thursday if you haven't already registered, as I say. And in that honour, in that role and flow, as I say, most thoughts are centered around that action. And season 2 is action and exploring for a reason, because not only are some of our guest speakers action takers, but they're people who have explored new situations. And last week's guest with me, Kiernan, in, taking massive action to completely radically change her body composition and her self-esteem and her body image that way, to this week's guest who's due to come on with Kyle and all things exploring emotions and emotional intelligence, particularly from a male perspective. And I suppose I'm exploring my full circle of actions, I think. And this is all so new for someone who, as I say, didn't really intentionally ever have a thought, I'm going to own a business or I'm going to change the narrative of my whole life. And even as I'm sitting here, and if you're watching this, friends, as well as listening, you can see some of the images around my bedroom here from exploring stages in my 20s. And I've done a lot of travel. I'm excited to getting ready to do some more travel. But as I shared last week, in being a bit unrooted, or uprooted, I should say, I have a story around kind of my room. And this room that I'm in now, as I say, it's my home room, but it's really my room in my grandparents' house. And for anyone who doesn't know that side of my story, I would have been back and forth here all my young life, like as a child and that. And it's actually the home I came home to out of the hospital, but I only found out in my 20s. I didn't realise that was the case, that Mum got a rest after coming out of the hospital, and I actually came home here with my granny and my granddad. And I've had so many different bedrooms at this point. And one of my biggest goals, and I'll share that here, is to have a base. And I'm becoming more and more aware over the last 18 months and so that whatever that long-term forever home, whatever that means for anybody, might actually be further away than I thought. And I'm in my I'm in my 30th year. That sound was me making faces. I'm still 29 and I'm very much in the present moment, but I'm also, sometimes it creeps up when you have those kind of measuring points, and those things that can come up when you see people at different stages at the same age, maybe. And I'm still in an exploration stage as the actions come together in, as I say, business. So coming back to the story of bedrooms, this room here is purple and the handles of the door are purple and some of the handles on the wardrobes are purple and bed sheets are purple. And I painted this place when I created a bit of a base here in my college years as the room I said I was going to come home to, because my family home with my mom and dad was being sold at the time. And that was my second family home with my mom and dad. And I think even like when I go back to thinking about my childhood bedroom, when I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that space was different again. And the reason I kind of sharing a little bit of the timeline of those stories is some of us can naturally replot, and some of us need one core space. And that for me kind of came up when I was doing my J1. I was in Alexandria, Virginia, the summer of 2016. And I took my deodorant out of my wash bag and I just put it down. And I remember kind of having that thought, that feeling more than anything else. Oh, okay, I can leave that there, and that's where that's going to be. And for anyone who's a bit scatty or can be a bit unorganized or can seem like they don't know where anything is, but maybe we actually know exactly where it is. It's just somewhere hidden, safe from ourselves. Maybe it comes from that of not always having a set space for where one thing happens. So I didn't actually mean to share most of that, but what I do want to kind of circle in with all of those is, how do you break free of needing that security? How do you go against a little bit of that core human need of stability as things transform and as things change? And again, my thoughts are kind of going out to college friends, particularly who may be in their first year of college or so and never really felt like they settled in, because that was me, or are still between two homes, or are still traveling and navigating. And for some, that's so easy, you don't have to think twice. But for some of us, there's an unease about not knowing where you're going to be, or where you're going to leave your deodorant, or how to get a good night's sleep. But having said that, that's where the fun is. That's where life can happen, and some of my best nights and days and stories come from the times when I really didn't know maybe what bed I was going to sleep in, or I really didn't know what the whole week was going to look like. And you just go with it. And then that doikiness, you wouldn't do it. The saying that was of the summer, again, of a photo in this room here at the minute. of the summer in Greece in 2018, that first year I was there. So in all of that, in some of the things that are, as I say, my thoughts right now, in looking forward, as I said, one of my main goals this year is to say, yeah, that's my space. And not only is it my space, it's a space that's easily shared and readily shared. And the door is open, and AKA a 2-bed, where if family want to drop in or friends want to drop in, that kind of natural thing can start to happen. And, for some, I know that's super easy. And for others, it's more complex in being able to achieve that. And I ask you, friend, what is your next thing looking like in that sense? Are you looking for a bit of stability, security, and one place? Or are you looking for a little bit of exploration, a little bit of uncertainty, a little bit of excitement that comes with that, and spreading those roots and learning a little bit more? Travel for me was always opportunities to learn new cultures, learn new people, and learn about new people, I should say. And just see things differently. So with that, I'll start to wrap. And as I say, the summit is on Thursday. Our guest speaker this week shares a little bit about their exploration and their journey. And we still have so much more to come in season 2. If you haven't already checked out our show notes for some of our sponsors and some of our upcoming events, as I say, including the summit, do check that out. And I'm really grateful to continue to be able to share a new thought each week with you every Tuesday. Our newsletter also comes out today. If you haven't been accessing those or getting our blog thoughts, you can subscribe for our Thoughtful Tuesdays. And keep exploring, keep listening, and think about the stories that connect to your present moment. Are you in a circle situation of needing to learn something in a full circle in maybe a healing stage? Or are you ready to do something completely different and break the cycle, break free a small bit, and do something new, take a new action, a different action? Friend, I'll leave it there. And as I say, happy Tuesday. See you at the summit, and talk soon.